It's an honor and privilege to be here. It's literally my dream, honestly. We can live our dreams, and that's through this wonderful thing called chiropractic. But I'm gonna talk on a few things that got me here and that continue to get me here and just evolve and enjoy this wonderful, amazing life. And it comes with the people and it comes with the tribe, baby. But anyone could be here where I'm at right now. Student, pre-DC, it doesn't matter. I'm only a product of my mentors, my friends, my tribes, my two loving parents, and all that support me. But it's through necessity, an amazing image, and consistent effort. But to paint a little bit more of my story, I'm from East Hartford, Connecticut, nice little diverse town up in the Northeast. My mom's from Lima, Peru, so yo puedo hablar español ahora. Es mucho mejor. But I couldn't do that before because I didn't have my voice. My dad's from South Carolina, born and raised humbly with his brother. Grandma took him up to Connecticut to start a new life. I love how we talked on Peru earlier. Doc over there, thank you for that, because it paints an image, or it gives a bigger perception, yes? Because when we can get out of our own ways and we can appreciate and see other perspectives of the world and see how good we truly do have it, life gets better. Back to the story. Mom and Dad, they raised me and my sister in the suburb of East Hartford, something they didn't have because they both grew from poverty. Mom had to share a bed with her 4 siblings in Peru and her nana and my nana and her father, on top of an array of things that I don't want to say here, but this lady has overcome time and time and time again. And it's through their grit, it's through their persistence, and it's through their efforts that I'm able to be here with y'all right now. But finding that appreciation for that from a house full of so much love and compassion that didn't even know about chiropractic and the true essence and the true healing power that it has to save this world. It is amazing. And I first discovered chiropractic through my track and field career. I deadlifted and then messed up my low back one time. I was like, oh, coach can't do anything for me. And she's like, oh, yeah, go to chiropractic. All right, cool, got adjusted. But I didn't understand even the depth then. It wasn't until I got to Life University, it wasn't until I discovered KTC or Adjusting Ninjas, it wasn't until I received an amazing adjustment that shifted, that changed my life. Start living. How does someone go through life? How does someone go through 24 years of living but not ever lived? Not experiencing the essence of themselves and emotion and in life expression. So what drives me is this one special lady, this wonderful woman. And I'll talk her right now, as she is in a state, a pattern that we can help unlock of fear, of anger, of all these emotions. Because I wasn't the man I stand before you today. I was angry. I was lived in emotions such as anger, resentment, and just holding on to a lot of different things that I tried to repress. Because Dr. Rebecca, I don't know where you are, but your story hit me right in the gut. Because I was molested when I was 9. And that warped my perception for years. 13 years of living repressed. 13 years of trying to bottle in this emotion that I didn't know what was going on, but I didn't want to impart my suffering onto my mom, onto my dad, onto my sister. But it turns out that when you try to do that and repress things come out in the subconscious. Because you do want someone to feel your pain, even if it's not at the conscious level. So I do believe chiropractors can hold space and show up for people when you train, when you do the work internally, that you can elicit healing of the deepest levels, that you can access information, experiences stored in the central nervous system that so no one's ever uttered to a word, but your presence and your beingness and your certainty shifts people before you even lay your hands on them. I'm reading an audiobook right now. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. It's by Viktor Frankl, who was a survivor, the only survivor of his family in the Holocaust. Y'all can only imagine the amount of suffering this man went through. But still his message rings so clear. And that is, to live is to suffer. But to survive is to find meaning in suffering. So just like we talk about, you can either be in a state of ease or dis-ease. Same thing with your perception. There's the light and the dark. I can only appreciate life so much and smile so much and laugh and express and be so much because I didn't have myself when I was younger. I didn't know who I was. I couldn't speak Spanish well without an accent. So the Spanish people, the Latinos, shunned me or made fun of me. I grew up in a suburb of East Hartford near Glastonbury, which is very rich, very white, very affluent, and I dressed differently. So when I got to middle school and met all these wonderful people that looked like me, they called me white boy. They laughed how I dressed, they laughed how I talked, they laughed at all these different things, and I didn't know what to do. But I got my best friend here, a boy who held me down. And Harris, if you could just raise your hand, bro, just wave to everybody. Thank you for saving me. He doesn't even know it either because I didn't even tell him. But as my escape, I used to play World of Warcraft and just play video games and just chill. And I'm a nerd at heart, y'all, and it's amazing. But a lot of people don't know that. Because in my other time, when we weren't chilling, playing video games till 4 or 5 in the morning as an escape, I would run track and field, I would wrestle, and I would play soccer. In soccer, I wasn't as good, couldn't dribble for anything, but I could play defense. So senior year, I finally got decent enough, but I was always trying to work for someone else's approval instead of pouring into myself with self-love and things such as that regard. I was never enough. Wrestling, I could just take out my anger at that man across the mat from me. It was easy. Track, I could just take out my anger on the ground. There's so many times I went to Country Hill, which is right behind my street, and I would just put on a hoodie, put on my headphones, put on a garbage bag, sweats, and I would just run up the hill as hard and as fast as I could. And it turns out that helped me get a scholarship to Central Connecticut State University, where I continued to revamp myself. Because I figured, Jamal, now that you got a chance to revamp yourself, no one knows who you are, you can recreate yourself. So I started talking to people, literally everybody, as much as I could. And then I continued to do the same thing with Life University after I read a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So you start caring about people and what they care about and hearing their values and actually listening to someone, listening to their story. Life gets better through vulnerability and authenticity. But now, the power of chiropractic. Because some days the internal voices would be way louder than the external voices and cripple me before I even left that door. Things saying you're stupid, you're slow, you're not good enough, you're ugly, you don't know who you are. And how many of us live these lives with the thoughts that we tell ourselves, the thoughts that aren't even ours, but we pay attention to them and ingrain them into our emotional state. The thoughts that trap us into a box where you can be talking to as many people as you want, but internally you're dying. You're not living. No one deserves that. Well, principle number 26, the cycle of life, the balance of external and internal forces, universal forces that break down matter, universes that are destructive in nature, but the innate forces are constructive. The cells that are always regenerating on a consistent basis. These are what build us. These are what give us life. I'm gonna come back to these cells in a second, but once that happened, that shift happened, I feel like I can do anything. I'm living once more, and it's amazing, but only when the internal overcomes the external. And the internal, when that can't, that's when an adjustment comes in, baby. That's when a liberation comes. That's when an acknowledgement comes. That's when someone else connects innate to innate. Principle number 6, all processes take time, and especially in the healing domain. We're trapped in such a quick fix. That's what we need, that's what we want. And we don't have that quick fix. We can go to Netflix, we can go to our phones, we can continue to be slaves to our technology that can cripple us, but helps us be a portal as our escape from our own suffering without even knowing ourselves. Break that. Talk to people, look up. As my brother Ricardo says, when you're on your knees and you're at your lowest, don't look down, look up. Because you're still breathing, your heart is still beating, you still have a purpose on this earth. And our purpose, ladies and gentlemen, as chiropractors is to collaborate. And I love that collaboration was such a theme at WCCS. I just came back from South Africa and they didn't stop saying it. But chiropractic is now represented on the international level. So not just within ourselves with technique wars, with philosophy or not philosophy, any of these things, we need to put that ego aside, baby, because it's not about us, it's about them. So not even with the profession, we need to adjust the MDs, we need to adjust the superintendents, we need to adjust the people that have influence of our youth, of other professions, because they have no idea what we do. But they're ready, they're waiting, they're listening, they need this. And that only comes through our certainty. Just as a cell, as it evolves and as it collaborates with other cells, it improves its perception and its awareness. And through that, it recognizes its greatness. I'm looking at compilations of 50 trillion cells all over this place, and y'all look amazing. But it's only through that chiropractic adjustment, only through our certainty in ourselves, and only through us that this is going to change. So millennial chiropractors, as we're continuing to pull our resources, I invite all chiropractors to continue to pull our resources. And we need more focused OKCs. We need this tribe, this community. Because this community is what's going to go out and change the world and affect the chiropractic vessel only when we can remove the subluxations from ourselves as a profession. Thank you.